And thanks for joining me for the Beach Music Interviews with yours truly, Dancin Dan. We have a special guest today, Russell Henry from the original Drifters. Yeah, they had songs like Under the Boardwalk, Save the Last Dance for Me, and many, many others. All right, Russell, tell me a little bit about yourself and where you call home.
Home is Jacksonville, Florida. I was born there. I don't know. I just, growing up with this music. In my high school days, about a couple of times a year, they would have a group to come in, sing in our auditorium in the school. One of them happened to be the Drifters. What happened was, when they got on their break, they came back to the dressing room, and the teacher went and got like 2 or 3 kids to go back there and talk to the Drifters, and I just happened to be one of them. They was asking questions, so I was answering, and I told them when they got through that, I said, Bill, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to sing with y'all, not knowing that 90 years later, I was with the Drifters. I met him in 1967 again, and that's when I joined Bill.
Well, I know Ted Taylor, whose song Be Ever Wonderful was a big influence in your life. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, this is how I met him. I was singing the song Be Ever Wonderful, not knowing that the bass player, he was friends with Ted Taylor, and he had one time played with Ted Taylor, and I didn't know that. So when I started singing Be Ever Wonderful, and when I finished, he called me aside on the break, and he said, Russell said, you sound good on that. And he said, well, I got a friend of mine that's coming in town next week. I would like for you to meet him. And he asked me, said, would you come back so-and-so date? So I went back there to the club to sing. I sung one song, and the bass player said, Russell, sing Be Ever Wonderful. Now, he set me up because Ted Taylor was in the audience, and I didn't know it. So I started singing Be Ever Wonderful. All of a sudden, the spotlight hit this guy sitting at the ringside down there, and when the spotlight hit him, I saw it was Ted Taylor, and I started shaking. And so after that, he came up on stage, and he took the mic from me. He told his friend, the bass player, he said, start all over, fellas. And he started to sing it first. And when he sung the first line, he put the mic in front of me, and I sung the second line. And I mean, the whole audience just went up. We sung the whole song just like that. He sung a line of his own song, and I sung the next line. And that's how I got to meet Ted Taylor. Before the night was over, he told me, me and him hugged on stage. And he said, Russell said, man, you got a nice voice. He said, whenever I'm in town, no matter where I'm at, if I'm close by, come to see me. And that's what I did for a good little while before he died.
Well, I read you and Bill Pickney sang on cruise ships. What did you do after that?
After we finished working the ships, we did the Dick Clark PBS. We did that about 3 or 4 times. But the last time, the 4th time, after we did that PBS, he left us and went to Miami. I think that was 2007. He went to Miami to do a show, and the rest of the Drifters went somewhere else to do another show. That's when he died in Miami. I took a little break from about 5 or 6 years with Bill. Went to Pittsburgh and sung with the Delmonics. A guy named Rick Lococo, he had the Delmonics at one time. I sung with him, and we said, I Swear, and There Goes My Baby. So after the group bust up, I came on back to with the Drifters. Then that's when I met Rick Shepherd. Rick Shepherd was one of the Drifters of Benny King's era. I was one of the Drifters in Bill Pinkney's era. And also that I sung with not with the Temptations, but on shows with the Temptations. And I have some friends of the Temptations, and the Platters, Benny King, Lou Christie, and also Lou Red and the Cams. But it was Joe Pope and Charles Pope, and the Four Tops. And also around here, Clifford Curry, he wrote some songs for us. Ollie Woodson also. We got Ollie Woodson a long time ago from, he was playing in a club, playing drums. And that's how he started in show business. We got him to sing with us, with the original Drifters.
So what presidents have you met?
Oh, it was Clinton and Bush Sr. and Donald Trump. And of course, you know, the mayor or governor, whatever he was, of Las Vegas. Yeah, we was also friends too.
Tell me a little bit about your most successful songs.
Well, right now the most successful song had got to be "There Goes My Baby" and "This I Swear," because it was number one in North Carolina. Yeah, number 5 with Pat Quinn's radio station.
I see you've been inducted into the CBMA Hall of Fame. Tell me about that.
Yes, and that was in Las Vegas, and along with Bill Pinkney and the Drifters.
Well, I've read you met James Brown. Tell me a little bit about that.
I'll tell you the little story about James Brown. James Brown knew his mother, and I was out of town, and I was coming back from town. She told me about he was in Miami, and she wanted me to go and meet him. So when we met him, we talked a little bit, and all of a sudden he asked me, he said, Russell, you got some fine kids there, fine twins. He said, I'd like to adopt them. And so I looked at him kind of strange. And he bust out and laughed. That's what he asked my kid's mother, that he told her that he wanted to adopt my twins. And I told her to tell them, hell no, that's my twin.
Well, I know you and Bill Pinkney were friends. Can you share a little story about Bill Pinkney?
It was a young lady, not a young lady, but I just call her a young lady. She was an older lady. And Bill Pinkney knew her. And this was around the time when I met Bill. And he used to carry me around with him when I met him, and because we really became good friends. And he took me to this lady's house whenever we was off, and then she would cook for us. One day somebody came in there and wanted some liquor, so I thought maybe she was gonna get in the car and go get the liquor. But she called Bill. She said, Bill, come here, Bill. He said, what is it that he wants? He wants a fifth of so and so and so and so. And she told him where to go. And you know where that was? Under the floor. That's where she kept her liquor and stuff, under the floor. And Bill knew right away what she was talking about. He went and got that liquor and brought it out. Boy, I tell you, I fell out when I saw that. Bill used to like to go fishing. I had a fishing pole that I used to fish, not as much as he did. But we went out a couple of times and fishing and caught a few things. And he is a good cook. I tell you that. He's an excellent cook. We cooked on the road a lot. I tell you what really scared me too. Years later, we all was on the bus, but the bus caught a fire in the back of the bus. And everybody was asleep but me. I just happened to smell something, and I woke up and the bus was on fire. So I called the bus driver. And he told him what had happened, and he looked out his mirror and saw it was on fire. And he pulled over to the side of the road, and we all just ran off the bus. In the middle of the night, in zero weather, dark, you couldn't hardly see your hand before your face. And we had to stay out there. It was hardly it was up around Virginia, somewhere up around them mountains. Nobody would hardly come by. I would say about 2 or 3 about every hour. And I mean, the bus was burning up, and we had to stand on the outside and look at it burn down.
Well, you had a bonfire to keep you warm.
Yeah. Yes, sir, buddy.
Russell, it's been an honor and a privilege to talk to you.
Well, thank you very much, because this is the first time I ever sit down and talk to a radio station personality. I need all the help I can get right now.
All right, well, you take care.
Okay, you too.
And that's Russell Henry from the original Drifters. And this great interview has been brought to you by Forever in a Song, turning your memories into music that lasts forever. Just scan the code and it'll take you straight to the website where you can create a custom song for your special moment, wedding, anniversaries, memorials, or any occasion close to your heart. Visit foreverinasong.com, and don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe for more classic interviews from Dancin Dan's Beach Music Archives.